Hello again. Welcome to hell. A while ago, I played a small horror mod pack with some friends. This got me in the mood to play Minecraft horror here on the main channel. So, I downloaded this. This is the biggest
piece of dog shit
horror mod pack available on CurseForge. And let me tell you, it is absolutely humongous. With over 100 mods related to horror, it turns Minecraft from a game about mining and crafting to an utterly ridiculous cluster of slop, with endless jump scares, unavoidable instant kills, hundreds upon hundreds of scary monsters, and of course, lots and lots of heroin. Today, I will try to survive this absolute catastrophe of a mod pack, dying over 50 times in the process, losing my sanity multiple times, and getting very, very mad. So without further ado, like the video, subscribe, and join me as I play the worst Minecraft mod pack I have ever had the displeasure of experiencing. Ah, I see. Upon spawning in, I see floating Antichrist villagers, a giant block of text in the chat, a red glitchy village, and Vicodin in my hotbar. And worse is yet to come. As I walked around and broke a few blocks, I started realizing that absolutely nothing was dropping. Not beds, not logs, nothing. Upon reaching the top of a watchtower, nothing there worked either. It was as if time was frozen. But it was just the mod pack being bad. Time to reset. After using Bites the Dust to bring me back to the start of the run, blocks are now breakable. Yay! I would then immediately regret being able to play the game. As soon enough, Gerald joins, and then the Night Stalker arrives, locking my vision to the floor and making me blind. Then, something plays an armor breaking sound, and it starts to rain. Then, the fog turns red, and it becomes nighttime. All within the span of 15 seconds. Send help. Logically, I decided it's time to bunker up at the top of the watchtower, as I can only imagine what horrors are about to spawn outside. Inside, we find ourselves some food and change our spawn point. Shortly after getting scared by lightning, I earn another very ominous achievement and try to go to bed. The game claims it is not nighttime, despite the fact it is. Why? I have no fucking idea. So, I decide to go outside and look around. Beyond the scary ambient noises, nothing really seems to be happening. And that is when I see him. The Black Man. Anyways, time to go to bed. On day 2, I used the protection of daylight to freely explore. Well, change of plans. Whatever spawns out here at night, I don't want to meet it. So, I began walking in a straight line, in the hopes of finding a village or watchtower I could sleep at. In the process, I got chased by this thing, which led me to jump into a lake and hide out on this shipwreck. After crafting some torches, I realized that these two monsters are staring me down. But after Huh? Where did they go? After scaring those two off with my aura, I noticed a distinct plume of smoke rising above the tree line. This can only mean one thing. There is a campfire nearby. Getting there would be easier said than done though. At night, there's a near-constant barrage of spooky mobs coming to touch you. And they were absolutely going to try and touch me. A wise man once said, "Death will not stop me, only slow me down." And we live by those words here on the channel. So, after quickly sleeping, we pack our shit and set out to recover our items. Upon reaching my items, I find the structure the smoke was coming from. It's a large brick house. Nice. I decide to welcome myself in. I first update our spawn point, then look for loot. And then, this guy shows up. He manages to chase me down and kill me. But not to worry, I can just respawn.
Cool. Can you give me a sec?
Alan, we are so fucked.
And as is to be expected, upon stepping out of the house, I was immediately mauled to death. Third time's the charm. After recovering my items, I decide to go check the upstairs of the house for loot. But all I found was a giant hole in the wall. So, without any specific idea on what to do, I decided it was time to set out once more and explore the wonders of our world. Something I would soon come to regret. Hello again. Up until this point, things have been pretty bad, but overall they've been tolerable. All of this would soon change. Having slept through the night, I decided to exit my temporary bunker, not without being interrupted, of course. First by a jump scare, and then by the old man. I run outside to dodge Unk and find a creeper in my boat, who I promptly murder. This results in the old man walking directly into my boat and getting stuck, which in turn makes him an easy kill. Sadly, he respawns after less than 20 seconds, so I decide to just move out. Just kidding, we slimed Grandpa out again. While scaling a mountain, Grandpa comes back for round 3 and it becomes nighttime, and upon reaching the top, I'm met by that red thing and a guy with a knife. So logically, I launch myself off the cliff, into the river, and onto my boat. Now being chased by multiple spooky mobs, I decide to just set sail down the river. I only stop sailing once I come across a nice scenic plains biome with some pretty big houses. The first thing I discover here is that I actually can't break the blocks around the house, which is bad, but it shouldn't be a problem unless we have to hide or something. Oh, okay. Thankfully for me, being found is literally nothing. So I go back to the house, only to be met with this thing. As per usual, I end up dying, and since I didn't put down a bed, I get sent all the way over to the world spawn. Upon reaching my items, I was enveloped in total darkness, with a random guy deciding to hop into my boat before disappearing. Then, my dead body and my boat both turned to stare at me, which combined with this spooky creature walking out of the darkness was actually a little bit creepy. Unfortunately, whatever it is that was haunting me didn't know about the tried and true method of constructing a nerd pole. That was the move that made Herobrine cry, and so my new headquarters was born, complete with a bed, so I could respawn here. Once the blindness dissipated, I brought it right back by staring at this guy, and then my home building was interrupted by a game of hide and seek. I decided to hide out underwater, as it's the ultimate weakness of all Minecraft horror mods. That was when I discovered I had some company near my nerd pole. The game then got very laggy, and it seemingly started to rain blood. But seriously, the footage after this is extremely laggy for some reason. Looking down, I could see a handful of mobs who really wanted to murder me, but since I was low on blocks, I couldn't actually do anything about it without going down, so I died again. Needless to say, it wasn't particularly easy to escape this spawn trap, but eventually I made it back to the fields with the houses. That is when our good friend X returned. And he did exactly what he does best. He insta-killed me. No problem though. We respawn once more and make our way back to the houses, which is when we encounter this weeping angel-ass cave dweller, who only moves when I look away. And then we die again. At some point in the 1 FPS footage, this guy comes back, we obliterate his ankles, and then we make our way into the house. This was when I got soft-locked for over half an hour. Since I couldn't break blocks to get out, release me! There was only one way to get out now, by bouncing on it crazy style. When I respawned, things were looking bad. Very bad. I mean, I was literally surrounded. So, I did what I could. I built a pickaxe and jumped down into the water. Here, I got nice and close to this veiled guy, who proceeded to try and chase me. I decided to just sail away on my boat, and I ended up finding a small house. It wasn't anything special, but it did have some okay. Upon re-entering my world, nothing had really changed. So I geared up, got myself a music disc, and then I killed that thing. I then hopped into my boat and got chased into a nearby ravine. In a stroke of pure genius, I managed to accidentally enter the boat with the mob trying to kill me, which didn't end too well for me. Oh well, I had a spare boat, so I took it out for a spin and sailed down the river, which is when this happened. This time, I just walked over to the ravine, where I found that the investigator was still in my boat. and even though he had only 300 HP, I didn't care, so I started hacking him up. Being the weakling he is, he ran away as soon as his health got low, which meant I was finally able to mine some coal. Or at least I'd be able to, if I had a stone pickaxe. Not to worry though, I got myself some wood from a nearby structure, and then the Night Stalker arrived. I somehow managed to lose him, and as I hit underwater, I died to the lightning? Anyways, time to sleep. While mining some coal, I managed to get myself killed by a literal red soy jack. After respawning, my bed got destroyed and I couldn't place it back down to sleep. Each time I tried, the bed would break again. And this was when the most bullshit thing I've ever seen would happen. And that wasn't even the worst thing that was about to happen. Now back at World Spawn, I needed some place to stay the night. There was a village nearby, but getting to it would prove to be quite a challenge. Eventually, things calmed down and I set my spawn point in the village. I decided to take a bunch of extra beds for my future voyages, and for a short while, things were actually looking good, and then X returned. Anyways, I retrieved my items and made a nerd pole to survive the nighttime. I then found a meteor, got attacked by spiders, and died again. So, I respawned, took revenge and set out to explore some caves, where I had an incredibly close encounter with a cave dweller. And that was the first genuinely scary moment of the entire run. This was also around the time where I just kind of started doing shit. I realized I wasn't gonna be able to progress whatsoever with the ridiculous amount of slop mods, so I just started messing around. The first thing I wanted to do was visit a sky island. This was easier said than done.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
So, I jumped off the tower, leading the old man to follow me. I then looked away and suddenly, he had duplicated. How? Anyways, I continued pillaring up until I got above cloud level. I could see a small platform with a chest ahead of me, so I started bridging towards it. Not too long after, I was just hanging around in the village when this happens. This began an insane, inescapable death loop. After respawning, I was promptly murdered by Devil.jar, and not even 30 seconds later, I was killed by creation. Each time I came back, I got killed again, and I was literally getting spawn camped. Eventually, I managed to get myself a bed and I slept through the night.
Everybody on FaceTime talking about you like Steve Harvey. Hey. Look, y'all really think he look like Steve Harvey? Huh?
Afterwards, I made myself a small cave hideout, and I starved to death. And not only that, but my footage then freezes completely, only to return here. Alright, I'm getting sick of this mod pack. So, let's figure out how to actually survive this. I spent my next few days doing pretty much the same as usual. I'd walk around, get chased by a spooky monster, jump into water, and get chased by more spooky monsters. The usual. However, as I was staring down 3 separate mobs in the water, I had a revelation. These things may be fast on land, but they're not quite so good in water. I, on the other hand, am an absolute fucking unit in the Olympic swimming pool, and I have no trouble performing long distance and depth dives. So clearly, it was time to live underwater. And so, I think we've come to the end of our journey, is what I'd say if I were a quitter. You see, when I originally started this challenge, I actually had a set goal in mind: survive 10 days straight. That did not work, so I figured I'd change it. Now, I just wanted to mine a single diamond, which clearly didn't work. So, by the end of the run, I was so sick of this game that I decided my win condition would be to craft an iron chest plate.
Find out what goes in